12:16 on TSN 690. Welcome back to Game Points. I'm your host, Matthew Ross. We talk some college basketball here as the Sweet 16 will get underway on Thursday night. And a guy we've been chatting with over the years, talking some college basketball at this time of year, joins us once again. He's now on Twitter, mercifully. J.E. Banks, Coach J.E. Banks on Twitter.com. I just began to follow him, so he's up to 4 followers now. That's all right. It'll get up there. He's a knowledgeable character. He's a former player for the Syracuse Orange and a former coach as well. We will chat now with John Banks. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm well. Coach J.E. Banks, I'm proud of you, man. You did it.
Yeah, a little bit of undertaking, but I got it done.
How much undertaking could it be, though? You're a savvy guy. You're a technology guy.
That's true, but we have a house full, so it took me to dedicate a little bit of time. But just to make you happy, I got it done for you.
Nice guy. I like that.
Okay.
All right, well, here's the update. We have a we have a radio station pool here. About 18, 19 guys are in it this year, and I usually just take whatever Coach Banks sends me in terms of his bracket and submit that. I'm very lazy and very smart at the same time. Why, I'll tell you? Because I'm leading the pool right now, baby. That's right. My blood, sweat, and tears has resulted in me leading the TSN 690 internal basketball pool right now, and I'm looking good, baby. I got Kansas winning it all, and I think you got Ohio State in the final 2, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, very nice. Now, are you confident about those 2 teams moving forward here?
I'm a little bit leery of Kansas on Thursday because that matchup against Michigan is 2 Titans. I mean, you could even have that for the national championship game. That is going to be a very interesting basketball game.
Now, how about Florida and Florida Gulf Coast? I mean, did you see this Florida Gulf Coast team getting this far? And secondly, what kind of opposition do they pose for the Gators?
To be quite honest and frank, I'd never even heard of them before the tournament started.
Wow.
However, doing a little bit of research, they will remind you sort of George Mason of a few years ago, but a lot more athletic. And they say they'll knock on anybody, and highlight reel has definitely shown that they're not going in undaunted. I think it's going to be a heck of a basketball game, and if Florida, for some reason, decides to let Gulf Coast stick around, there may be an interesting little upset there.
All right, elsewhere in the brackets, you're a guy, you're a coach guy. You must love the coach matchup right now happening on Friday night, 9:45, between Tom Izzo and Mike Krzyzewski. MSU against Duke. Doesn't get better than that coaching-wise, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's going to be 2 Titans that going head-to-head. I think Duke's got a little bit more of experience. Plus, Mr. Kelly has come back, and they have not really played all that well first 2 games, and they're about due to play a Duke-style basketball game. But for the coaching purists, that's one for the ages.
All right, elsewhere you have Wichita State against LaSalle. Now, Wichita State's got a couple of Canadians on their roster, so people north of the border will be following them closely. LaSalle's a team that just knocked off Ole Miss. Those 2 teams will play Thursday night at 10:17 p.m. is the tip-off there. What do we watch for in that game?
I think Wichita State, they're playing more kind of basketball, defensive side of the house, and they get after you. And they play with a chip on their shoulder. And LaSalle's got, they're more of a fluid kind of offensive play from the outside. But just looking at those 2 teams, I like Wichita State in that one.
All right, you got Arizona against Ohio State. Now, I'm assuming you're going to take Ohio State there. Is that going to be a close one?
Oh, it's going to be very close, very close. They're very similar squad. Both got real dynamite backcourt players. And then the front court. And I think what it's going to come down to, and just like anything else in the game of basketball, who turns the ball over less. And, I mean, it's a wash, but I'm going to stick with my pick, Ohio State.
All right, chatting with Coach Banks. You can follow him on Twitter.com/Coach J.E. Banks. Mo, go ahead.
Coach, of course, with Ben Howland being far from UCLA, your thoughts on that happening? Were you surprised by that? And do you think Shaka Smart could be the lead candidate to go to UCLA if he's the target for Dan Guerrero?
It is quite shocking. I guess a couple Final Fours, just recently winning the Pac-12. I guess that's not good enough It seems that they want to change the identity of UCLA to be an up and down thing. Shaka Smart is in kind of a unique scenario. He could stay where he's at, collect the big money, and have his program go farther, or he could take one of the old-time premier basketball jobs, go out to UCLA. And if I'm a betting guy, I think he likes where he's at. They would have to entice him with a lot of power within the athletic department to go out to UCLA.
Talking some college basketball here on the program as we get ready for the Sweet 16. We talked about Kansas very briefly, but they'll go up against Michigan, the number 4 seed in that region, the South region. Kansas had a bit of a battle in the first half against North Carolina on Sunday. We talked about that just as it was happening. I think it was a 9-point deficit at the half, and you said, well, North Carolina really doesn't have the depth. Watch, Kansas will come back. They'll get a nice talking to by their coach, Bill Self. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. In fact, it was quite an impressive second half by the Jayhawks there. Is Michigan any kind of test for them?
Oh, that's a big-time test. Big-time test. Because you got the three-headed monster, the guard from Michigan, Robinson, and Hardaway Jr. Now, at the same token, I don't think Michigan has an answer for Stiffy in the middle, and McLemore has not played up to his level in his freshman year. So there's individual matchups within that. Styles are a little bit different. Michigan likes to get up and down. Kansas will get up and down when necessary, but they're more methodical. I think they're a little bit deeper. That's what leaning me towards Kansas, but it's going to be a heck of a basketball game.
Coach, when they got Louisville against Oregon, of course, Oregon playing really good basketball, and I thought they were underseeded being a 12 seed going into this tournament, given that they won the Pac-12 conference tournament 2 weeks ago. What do they have to do against Louisville, considering Louisville has the size and the playmaking ability in Peyton Siva, whereas with Oregon, they have that rebounding skill set here. Do they have to win the battle along the boards for them to have a chance to beat Louisville in this game?
I think Oregon's best bet is to break the game down into segments. 5-minute segments, because Louisville will come at you 94 feet for 40 minutes, and they're relentless with it. By playing in the Big East, they're used to that competition. But I think if Oregon can get off to a good start, stay close, stay within 6 to 8 points, and maybe even have a lead going in, I think the momentum they created in the Big 12 tournament and the first 2 rounds of the NCAA will give them a shot. But I think the experience level that Louisville has brings them over the top.
Talking with Coach John Banks, based in Oklahoma City, as we talk a little March Madness here on the program. How about the number 1 seed Indiana? They're still alive, the Hoosiers. They're playing your team, Syracuse. How do you like your boys going into this matchup on Thursday at 9:45?
If they could stay off the foul line, I would be a lot more confident, because I don't think Indiana has played really stellar basketball over the past 3 weeks. Syracuse got Sutherland back. I think the backcourt of Trish and some of those other guys, and plus the kid coming off the bench, number 13, I don't remember his name. He's been hitting key shots. It's gonna come down to who can make foul shots. And unfortunately for the Orange, they sort of have a little bit of difficulty there. I think that's what separates Indiana from them. So it should be an interesting basketball game. If Syracuse can pull that off, I'll be willing to take a hit on my bracket on that one.
Yeah, I would imagine so. All right, final game for you here. Marquette playing Miami. Now, the Hurricanes obviously winning their conference, number 2 seed there. Marquette, number 3, kind of a nice story there. I'm enjoying the outside shot of Vander Blue from Marquette. Great name there, too. What do you like in that matchup? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, interesting thing came out of light tonight. Andrew Johnson, the forward from Miami, he just had scope knee surgery, so he is out until at least the Final Four. That creates a little bit of a problem because he's their inside presence. Interesting backcourt matchup, because you have Vander Blue, more of a slasher, and then Miami's point guard is more of a penetrator, kick and dish. So should be interesting. I'm just curious to see how much that injury plays a part in Miami's run.
So it's a game changer for you?
I believe so. But can't change the bracket now.
That's fairly true. You can now follow Coach Banks during the tournament. I think he'll start tweeting. We'll find out. Coach J.E. Banks on Twitter.com, and we'll chat with you on Sunday as well.
That'll work. You guys have a good night.
All right, there you go. That's Coach Banks. Always fun to chat with him. Some good insight on the March Madness tournament.